The fact that a 12-year-old nowadays can see more naked women than a king had throughout his entire life is a problem. When I reached high school, that's when my porn addiction started. I got peer pressured into it by my friends, and the first time I watched it, I was hooked. So each and every single day, I came home from school. That was my escape, video games and porn, because I had a horrible personal life back then. So porn became one of my biggest ways to escape. I started to watch more and more of it every single day for longer durations, and I started to notice in school it started to play a really big impact on my relationship and interaction with girls. I didn't talk to them, I didn't perceive them the same way I used to before my porn addiction. And that's because every single time I saw a good looking girl, or I saw girls in general, I saw my crush, there was always that guilty feeling that I know what you look like underneath your clothes. It's like I could see right through them. And this was pretty disastrous for my mental health because I started to perceive girls and women in a totally different way. I started to view relationships in a totally different way. Because after seeing so many videos of that, I thought two things: girls are great in bed and sex is everything. And what further fueled this mindset was me seeing on social media like half of the girlfriends that I grew up with are now posing in bikinis in really revealing sexual seductive positions. And keep in mind, all of this information about relationships and girls were all coming from a sexual point of view, from porn and from social media. And also at that age, having a girlfriend, having a boyfriend, that's also a thing. And 14-year-old me, after seeing all of that, and my brain is completely rewired now, you can imagine how I was feeling. So I was desperate to get a girlfriend, and I tried, but I couldn't talk to girls. So forget about having a girlfriend. All I would end up doing is just kind of just looking at them and just wishing, I could talk to them, but I couldn't. And I used to come home and just release all that frustration by watching porn. So this is pretty much like the vortex I was stuck in. It's not even a cycle. I was really getting sucked deeper and deeper and deeper into the vortex. But thankfully I didn't get too deep into the vortex because around that time I found self-improvement. And I found out that porn was one of the biggest problems that young men are facing. And it was one of the first major problems that I cut out in my life. I realized that porn was the sole reason why I perceived relationships the way I did, why I perceived girls the way I did, why I perceived sex the way I did. Look, whatever video you watch on the website, it's always the same thing. Multiple people performing a set of choreographed actions and moves. Okay, and they're getting paid to do this. This is a business. So you are making these people rich while they are making you poor. Because porn not only destroys your relationship life, but also your personal life and your relationships with your friends and family. Okay, the sexual frustration every single time you that feeling you get, that feeling that you'll never be loved, that frustration is always with you and it changes you. All your sexual energy, all of your sperm, wasted for what? Because I'll tell you what, you are literally better than half of these people who are on these sites. You have more self-respect and dignity than people who prostitute themselves for money. I recently watched a interview, I think 3-4 months ago, of former porn stars talking about their experiences in the industry. And every single person that they interviewed regretted getting into the industry. Some have STDs, some have completely lost touch and relationship with their families, some have multiple kids from different dads, and they're on their own. They have no support. Some feel violated everywhere they go because they feel that people can see through their clothes. I mean, come on guys, really? You guys are already in a better position before you even start your porn addiction. Literally nothing is gained from watching porn. Okay, you're not learning anything from it. It's a completely false view about how sex and girls really are. I remember I was sitting on my bed one night. I just relapsed. And all of these thoughts were kind of running through my head, but I didn't have a good enough reason to quit. But I just remember after I relapsed that day, this is what I told myself. I told myself that I'm done pleasuring myself to people who I don't even know, to little pixels on the screen. That for every pretty girl that I see on this website, there are 10 more girls who look just like her, if not prettier than her, who have enough self-respect and dignity to not fucking prostitute themselves. I am done pleasuring myself to some other guy's girlfriend. And most importantly, when it comes to self-analysis, I asked myself, what exactly is it that I'm watching? And I told myself that it wouldn't be too hard to quit watching the same thing over and over again. A guy's unrealistic 7-inch knob going into an infected cave, moaning pleasure, the girl going ham on his cannon, and eventually the cannon exploding and shooting out his potential children all over her. Okay, when I was feeling the way I did right at that moment after nutting, I did this analysis myself, and I told myself that was enough. I told myself that I'm never getting back onto this literal devil's website, and I've been clear now for roughly 8 months. Porn is the bigger problem, and if you can quit that, then your life and views with women, girls, are just gonna be much better. Okay, the opposite sex, they can bring much more happiness and fulfillment into your life than just sexual. Because as people on self-improvement, we know how intimate and special sex is, how it should only be done with the one person who you trust, with the one person who you're committed to, with the one person who you love. Porn will not help you achieve this. It will not encourage you to do this. They don't care about you. So why should you care about them? Quit now before your life with women is ruined permanently.